Hey all, welcome back to Ocarina of Time. Here we are in a little side video. With how bad things went against Dark Link at the end of the last one, I thought it'd be a good time to go around, check into some of the collectibles that we haven't picked up yet. Either ones that we just kind of went past along normal gameplay, or that we didn't have the things we needed to get them originally. So, let's go ahead and jump into that with a trip back to the Temple of Time. And we're going to start things off at Zora's River. Going to jump onto the bean leaf and head off as far as we can go. Nice little hop there. So we tried to grab a Skulltula around here where the camera starts to turn when we were here the first time into Zora's domain. We didn't quite find it, but I just didn't go far enough. We continue all the way past the bridge, and we clear Navi's text here. And we've got the Skulltula up on the wall here. Let's just see it. There it is. But we can't get it from the hookshot from here, so we're going to get a little bit closer. Kind of I mentioned before, by the way, but I like the snow effect here. The frozen air from Zora's domain. It's a nice little atmospheric effect. Anyway, now that we're closer, we can grab this Skulltula before it vanishes in daylight. Did I show that before? I can't remember if I did. I'd have to make sure to show that off later. Just in time. Anyway, now we are back in Zora's domain. This time, it went a little bit of a rush into the ice cavern after we freed King Zora. We didn't check out the old diving spot here. We're gonna head down this cave, or tunnel, rather. We're gonna get as close to the end as we can. We want to be careful about sliding too far with the ice and all. You can already hear the Skulltula. So once we're at the end, we'll look around and see if we can pin it down. And once we look to the left here... Ah, there it is. Climbing right on the side of the rock wall just past this entrance. There's one more. Now we're back in the ice cavern, back in the scythe room. And there's an entire room that we skipped before. You can see it behind the red ice over there. So, we're gonna take this blue fire that I stocked up with off camera to save ourselves some time. We're gonna head down there. Let's melt our way through and then get in before that scythe hits us. So that's a pretty simple room. There's not a lot here, and there's nothing really important. I mean, obviously we got through the ice cavern with no problem, so there's nothing in here that we had to get. We've got this little blue fire torch here, or whatever you would call that. I guess a torch. There's some keys here to worry about. Killed one of them already, but there's a couple in here too, and we want to make sure to kill those before we wake them up and they fly around. They turn into blue keys and they freeze us. Of course, you can hear the Skulltula moving around, but we're not going to focus on that yet. We're going to kill these guys first. Of course, the sword's strong enough to get through the icicles. Hookshot, not quite. And it's interesting, by the way, that the red ice has a different sound when you hit it to the icicles. Didn't notice that before, but I guess it makes sense. So, there's no sound here, so obviously the Skulltula isn't there. Wasn't in the blue torch area, but over here, next to this heart piece in red ice, you can see it up here. Can't get from this angle, but if we move around, we can get it better over here. And there's number 3 for this video. So, we're going to take out the blue fire, melt this away, and get this heart piece. Three out of 4 towards the next heart container now. Finally, well, I guess not quite finally, we need to restock the blue fire first. But once we grab this, then finally we'll open up that chest that's frozen in this red ice over here. And this is a pretty small place. This mini dungeon doesn't really need this, but in this chest is where we find the compass for the ice cavern. So now we've officially 100%ed the ice cavern. Finally, we're going to head back in time to Dodongo's Cavern. Now, this is the only dungeon you can actually get into in the adult era that came from the child era, because obviously the Deku Tree and Jabu Jabu aren't around anymore. So, as our first stop here, we're going to head back up to the giant staircase that we had to blow up to pass. This time around, we got to it from the top using that elevator that we unlocked that takes you all the way up. Now, we technically could have got this as a kid, but it would have required leaving the dungeon and coming back to reset it, and it's a whole thing, so easier just to do it when we're coming back to do all this stuff now. Now, there wasn't anything on the right side of the staircase, but we're going to head around to the left side instead. And once we reach the side of the staircase here, we see some climbing vines that lead us up to this cavern that you can only really reach from doing this. You can later get an item that lets you get it from the top of the stairs instead, but we're just going to do this. It's easier this way. Now second, just before King Dodongo's cavern, or King Dodongo's room, rather, there's another room that we kind of rushed past, because back when we did this dungeon originally, we were in a little bit of a hurry to get to the boss, so I didn't do much exploration once we got through the giant skull. In fact, you can see on the map, we never even touched this room beyond here. This is a pretty simple room here. All we've got is a single armor statue, and fighting them isn't too different as an adult as it was as a kid. Still just a single bomb to get them, since bomb damage didn't change. Only difference is the armor statue tends to bounce off the shield, like this, rather than just keep ramming into you, which makes it a little bit easier, I guess. Behind the statue, we've got another gold Skulltula. And finally, we head back to the Dodongo hallway. And you can see something's got Navi's attention up there. This is something that we set up in last video, but we didn't show off yet. So here'll be the first example. I'm going to go ahead and play the song that we talked to Bonuru as a kid. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Bonuru? Probably Bonuru. Anyway, we play the Scarecrow song, and once we play this, we get an appearance from Pierre. It'll give us a nice convenient hookshot spot here to get ourselves up here. You can already hear what it is that we're getting up here. One final Skulltula on this video. So, this was a nice collectible run. But now we're going to need to head back to get things ready for the next video, and hopefully have a more successful fight against Dark Link this time around. I mean, it could hardly be less successful. So, until then everyone, thanks for watching this one. Bye!